Studio 360.
You're listening to Studio 360, and I'm Kurt Andersen.
That's it. Very good.
I've kind of always wanted to do that on the radio, sound more sophisticated and snooty and English than I am. There are these days a ton of British actors masquerading on television and in the movies as Americans. I think of Damian Lewis in Homeland and Hugh Laurie on House and several members of the cast of The Wire. So I wanted to find out if I could possibly do the reverse, to learn how to sound like Laurence Olivier.
Have a look at the Times. There's a thrilling article on what's the matter with English cricket.
Or one of the James Bonds.
Oh, by the way, we haven't been properly introduced, Melina.
The actress gave a class on craft.
The actress. Is it actress or is it more like actress than actress?
It's actress. Actress.
Okay. The actress gave a class on craft.
Craft. That's it, exactly.
The actress gave a class on craft.
Very good. That's it, exactly. Good.
And I think they want you just to say, I am Amanda Quaid.
Sure. Hi, I'm Amanda Quaid, and I work in speech, accents, dialects with actors from around the world, Americans learning foreign accents, and also international actors trying to work on their American accents.
And so speaking of hegemony of show business, I guess you're probably part of the Quaid acting dynasty in some fashion.
Yes, correct.
You're related to those guys.
Yes.
So you began as an actor and just find out you had a knack for doing this?
I fell into it really by accident. My first job was when I was 18. I was playing Juliet, and I didn't have any diction skills, so I sought somebody out to help me with that. And she was the first person to identify that I had a good ability to not only do a lot of things with speech, but also articulate how to do it. So she started sending me her students when I was still very young.
Wow. So you've done this for how long? Of some years?
10 years, yeah.
Wow. Have you had horror stories of like somebody just couldn't do it?
Sure. There are people, I mean, it really depends. People learn very differently, and some people have an ear for it. Some people really can't feel what's going on inside their mouth.
Do you have theories of like which kinds of people can do it well or not? Or is there a pattern, or just some people can and some people can't?
Sometimes people who are musically inclined tend to have a good ear for it and can do it well. Often dancers do, because they have a really keen kinesthetic awareness. So learning an accent is really like learning a dance for your mouth. And it's sort of the muscles in the mouth work together the way your legs would move if you were doing a tap dance.
Okay. Dancing is not something I do that well either. So, and we think of, say, in addition to being a great actor, Meryl Streep, wow, she does those acts. She really talks like Maggie Thatcher. Whoa, she really did the Polish accent. As a professional in this, does she seem like somebody who has a uncanny knack?
She's pretty incredible at accents and at transformation. And I'm sure if you go to those places and ask people on the street who are locals, everybody will be able to split hairs with it. But the main thing is that she does it enough to tell the story to the audience that she needs to tell the story to. And that's really the whole purpose.
Right.
We will stand on principle, or we will not stand at all.
But, Margaret, with all due respect, when one has been to war...
With all due respect, sir, I have done battle every single day of my life, and many men have underestimated me before. This lot seem bound to do the same, but they will rue the day.
So that's Meryl Streep, obviously, in Iron Lady. So down to the nitty-gritty module, what's she doing well or less well?
Sure. So she's doing a lot of sounds really, really very well. Stand. And then she has this nice at all, right? She has a nice liquid U and du. She's dropping her R in before. But really, the thing that makes this accent crackle is not the individual sounds, although she's nailing everything. It's really the relish and the particular vocal pattern that she's capturing. It's the relish of the ideas, the relish of language, and particularly the strong use of consonants. It's very interesting. When Americans get passionate, we tend to get louder. And when Brits get passionate, often they will invest more energy in their consonant sounds.
that's interesting.
So there's more in the language, and she's really finding that.
Okay, well, let's try to do whatever we can do. What kind of British accent shall I try to do?
We'll look at what's called a received pronunciation.
Right.
And we'll look at something that's a little bit relaxed, so it wouldn't be what you would use for Oscar Wilde, but you might use it on the street today if you were there.
And by received pronunciation, just how people on television and radio on the BBC speak.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It is just coming up to 6:30. We're going to bring you all the latest news.
Yes, exactly. It would be a relaxed received pronunciation.
Okay.
Received meaning you'd be received into society if you could speak that way.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, it's not. Oh, I see. I thought it meant received like conventional wisdom. No. Oh, I see. So it's slightly posh, but not too posh.
That's right.
Interesting.
Well, received pronunciation is very posh, but we'll work on a little bit of a modification.
Oh, really?
to it.
Okay.
The majesty and grandeur of the English language is the greatest possession we have. The noblest thoughts that ever flowed through the hearts of men are contained in its extraordinary, imaginative, and musical mixtures of sounds.
So just begin by taking a big yawn and opening up the back of the mouth. So when you do that, you get a bit of space all the way in the back, and just try to sigh through that sound. Just haw.
Oh.
That's fantastic. And now just let your jaw go a bit high so that the back teeth are almost touching, exactly. And then your tongue comes up about halfway in the mouth. So just lift your tongue up and just sigh through that shape for a moment. That's it, very good. Now bring your focus to the corners of the mouth.
Yes.
And you can pull them back, and you can also push them forward. So imagine they're just going to get a bit bossy, right, exactly. And just make the sound, oh.
Oh.
Can't you hear the difference? Look, put your tongue forward until it squeezes on the top of your lower teeth. And then say...
Horse.
Good.
Awful. Caught. Remorse. Stock. Daughter.
Daughter, very
Daughter.
good. Right.
It's interesting because it's some version of onomatopoeia. When you say it's bossy, it is, there's something like a cartoon of an Englishman.
In a way, yeah. And feel free to take that on a bit. Accents do transform you, and that's sort of what we're after here.
All right. Cast.
That's it.
Bath. Clasp. Enhance.
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 Very good.
Basket.
Basket. So we would say, I can't, but you can.
You can?
You can.
Oh, they don't, can is
That's
not...
right.
Uh-huh.
So it's not an across-the-board one. This is one a lot of actors miss.
Okay.
I promise you'll say your vowels correctly before this day is out, or there'll be no lunch, no dinner, and no chocolates. A-E-I-O-U.
Oh.
Very
Like a
good.
little bit of...
That's right. That's it.
I smell something awful.
Exactly. It's a bit of a bad smell.
Much have I travelled in the realms of gold, and many goodly states and kingdoms seen. Round many western islands have I been, which bards in fealty to Apollo hold. Oft of one wide expanse had I been told, that deep-browed Homer ruled as his demesne.
And for those who can't see you right now, it's interesting. Your whole posture has changed.
Yeah.
Your body is getting into it. You're sitting up a bit straighter. So all of
I've got my hand on my scabbard.
So an accent can actually change not only your mouth, but your whole body, your whole sense of yourself.
Yeah, it's true. And how do you get from this, what we've done, to sort of having it be automatic and not imagining you're after, or, not just having it be automatic.
Sure. Well, an actor would take these, let's say these rules, and then mark up their script with it so that they would be able to sort of see what they were supposed to say. And then like a dancer, they would repeat it so many times that the muscle memory in the mouth starts to remember it for them. So the brain isn't communicating anymore. And then beyond that, I urge them to use it out in their life all the time so that they can start to feel a bit more in their own skin with it.
And so when you're training British actors to do the American accents, that's the idea is, okay, I've taught you a little bit, now go out and pretend to be an American?
Well, British actors can do the American accent technically very well. What they tend to struggle with is a feeling of being an imposter and a feeling of inauthenticity in the accent. So a lot of the work I do with them is a little more psychological.
Interesting. And
finding who they are in their American accent, which is a whole other question.
Well, and of course, since acting is by its nature a convincingly inauthentic thing, that's a sort of whole meta or an additional meta version of what acting is all about, I guess.
That's right. That's right.
And why is that not the case for Americans? I mean, they just don't feel They don't feel like frauds and posers as much?
I think it's different because the actors I work with are coming to American soil. So
Right.
an American doing a British accent for other Americans is not going to feel the same pressure as
Right.
a British person doing an American for Americans.
And so what kind of psychological, encouragement, tricks, tutoring do you do for those people?
Well, I believe that any accent you work on should be something that brings out some part of you that can come out more in that accent than it can in your normal accent.
Right.
So I'll do it with you now. If I were to ask you to say this sentence, when I speak this way, I'm more...
When I speak this way, I feel more wealthy.
Wealthy, very good. A couple more words. What else? Wealthy.
When I speak this way, I feel more arch.
Good.
Contemptuous.
Superior.
Superior,
Yeah, great.
yes.
So let's try this. My name is Kurt Andersen.
That's going to be hard. My name is Kurt Andersen.
And when I speak this way, I am wealthy, arch, and superior.
I am wealthy, arch, and superior.
Yeah, so that's...
Superior.
Superior, very good. So that's part of it, is finding a few words that are really attractive to the actor that they can feel, and for many Brits, words that come up are like laid back, cool, global, confident.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see what the accent brings out in them as an individual.
Yeah.
Do you want to work with something a bit lighter?
Sure.
Okay, let's try that.
Oh, this is the Beastie Boys. That's funny. Okay. You wake up late for school, man. You don't want to go. You ask your mom, please, but she still says no. You missed 2 classes and no homework, but your teacher preaches class like you're some kind of jerk.
You've got to fight for your right to party.
You've got to fight for your right to party.
You gotta fight for your right to party.
My very sincere thanks to Amanda Quaid. And if you want to learn how to do a British accent, she taught me a bunch more exercises and tricks, and you can listen and learn them too at studio360.org.